force buy, though. We've seen how these can set up wars of attrition, the back and forth forces. Utility set in as the scout is going to get flashed off. Did see that one player first into the bomb site. Soulfly lands on yellow as Alu got caught by Skrunks 5-7. This is a 5-on-3, and a Sangal trying to prove the point upon here, but they do get a straight back on Jano.
And they're getting quite a bit of space from Yerpa out to the mid control now. QB hasn't over-rotated, and Zori's taking some damage. If he falls here, the bomb is just going to be dropped out in the open.
Back away from position. Smiley gets Soulfly 3-on-3, seeing the next thing down onto his own HP. Corey responds towards Zori. The bomb is in the open into CT control. Again, advantage sits with Sangal, but position being taken by Yerpa can take Panics back to a 2-on-2. AK in the hands of Corey, half HP, can only get so much done. Yerpa's on 3, Smiley's on 33. QB still has a chance here.
Now, this is getting very scrappy, and Smiley's been able to pick that bomb and go back up to the bomb site with the cover of that smoke. It seemed like miscommunication that he was out towards short and not that long side, and Corey just didn't even know which way to look.
Smoke's in on QB's position a little bit deep here. That actually generates a gap towards that entryway. Has to lean in. Yeah, oh, he misses all his bullets. Oh, QB. You only had to hit one. Great effort for Sangal, but it just wasn't to be.
And we know that Sangal have got one of the best pistol round win percentages out of anyone in the main Swiss stage. A lot of their games, especially the matchups against Sprout and 500, featured opening starts in pretty much every single half. Now, knowing that Jano have been able to win pistol, win the opening force buy, that's one of the sort of advantages and maybe some leverage that Sangal typically have in these kind of games.
And the Deagles get set back in the USPs on Panics and Skrunk. That should be a bit of a more basic eco round for Sangal. Jano find themselves with the 3-0 start. The MAC 10s will be nice to get involved against these Kevlarless players and just farm up the cash as a bonus. Jano's focus will be the start in the matchup, though, and Corey's still fragging. These pistols are not letting anything go.
Now, Alu's going to be able to generate quite a bit of a walk forward out here from the cave position. QB already out towards short. It's unknown of Panics deep here at long, though.
Now he is. Alu can deal with him. Decent damage still being done, though. Yerpa caught Corey elsewhere. Soulfly gets one more to respond, and Yellow plays back on the Skrunk with Deagle facing. Doesn't get Smiley. But unfortunately there for Sangal. The 3-0 start for Jano again involved. Sangal will look to the guns.
And we've seen Yerpa standing in for Jano in the last 3 months on Anubis, Inferno, Mirage, and Nuke. Have not seen him playing Ancient, Overpass, or Vertigo. So this is a debut for him. Tactical timeout coming through from Sangal. And Stickle has achieved a 2nd place and a 5th to 8th with B&E in previous Alyssa Invitationals. Also came quite close to his team qualifying to the playoffs of Alyssa Masters. So he'll bring a lot of experience.
Tactical timeout taken by the CT side. First one of the matchup. Right time to do so for Sangal's part of things. Again, pressured early on at Jano's map pick. Have a buyback or buy-in to the first gun round. Have their M4s out in hole. Planets can afford the AWP as well. Be lacking in the helmets, but that's mostly fine. All 4 players of Jano have one-shot headshot weapons. The one concern is Zori's Mac 10. Smokes in, pressing control, Molotovs back and forth from both sides as they set themselves in lane control.
Now, Corey's taken complete mid. Now, what we saw from Sangal when they played the likes of 500 out on Ancient, especially on that city side, just hyper-aggression, always fighting for map territory. Soulfly gets flashed in out there towards Cheetah, but is unsuccessful with a pick.
Corey's paranoid about the player coming in from the elbow position as well. Will re-smoke it and try and escape. Revealing himself to try and take an exit frag. Finally, Zori gets dealt with, and Smiley falls to Skrunk all the same. So it's a 4 versus 3 for Sangal. They trade the man advantage back.
Very messy there from Jano. Quite a bit of spacing in between those 2 players to trade off one another. No util being used. And giving up away that opening man advantage. Panics, very defensive, waiting out for the ramp aggression or any kind of contact that can come in. They've still got a lurk out here towards the A side of Yerpa.
That AWP leaning Jano being careful. QB catches Yerpa out towards that main control. Finds that burst of the headshot easy. Alu continuing to try hunt for a pick out here in Cheetah. Footsteps are being made, but I don't think they're being heard right now. Sangal, don't adjust.
Yeah, just super defensive down on this B side. Yellow will be able to smoke off the short control, and that will actually disembark the crossfire between Panics and Scrunk.
Flashbang alongside the smoke, but still Scrunk gets the triple, drops the bomb, back is turned towards the AWP. Alu's got no time, 6 seconds, got to hold the orb while being so close to the CT forces. Oh, that Corey, this might be an up-to-time kill. They're going to hunt him, and they get him as well. No warp for you, sir. First round for Sangal.
Yeah, we saw Sangal facing off against 500 only the other day out on Ancient, and it was a 10-5 CT half. They did really well in the first half. They impressed me a massive amount. Of course, it was the Bulgarians' map pick. They went into the second half, and that's where the struggle came in. It seemed like all of that fire had kind of disappeared from Sangal, and they only got 3 rounds on their T side. So we know that there can be some shaky results on the T side of Ancient for them. They'll be looking to try and see if they can drive a lead forward here in the first half.
Very quick forward here for Jano. Panics his AWP. Shots on. Smiley goes down. Advantage for the CT side here. Looking for a little bit more. Kyubi finds Yerpa. Turns back towards Alu, and Corey can get credited with that kill. Panics his AWP to strike twice. And Scrunk will decimate the last. An overwhelming defensive for Sangal as Jano are ripped apart.
I don't think you could have had the AWP in a better position right there from Panics. You've got him out deep towards CT. There's an A-pop coming through, a very good read. And then you've got 2 CTs just working on the edge of that donut smoke. And Jano pretty much went up against 3 CTs towards A. A very good stack and call there from Scrunk. And Jano are running into a straight trap.
Now it's pistols back for Jano. Reset on the economy line. Sangal have plenty of firepower. AK's on 4 players. Jano don't even know what to do with themselves in this kind of a round here. So passive, not even leaving spawn much.
I've got something for you, Jay.
All right, go on.
When you're in spawn and you buy a weapon, where does the weapon come from?
It's a video game, Dwight. I don't think that's really pertinent.
That's not the response that I was looking for.
Well, the response that you're going to get is too inappropriate for broadcast, so I'm not going to say it, so...
For Sangal, it's all about being able to grind these rounds up, and for Jano, they can use this as attack pause, as they say, the old French strat. Try and look, the longer you drag out the rounds, the more chance you have of baiting util.
There goes the kills for Corey and Soulflight. Mow him down. And sorry, we're not a winner today. 3 apiece. Sangal equalizing against the Jano side, and now look towards the rifle buy from the T side half.
Now, just looking at this map from a percentage standpoint from Sangal, it's definitely not one of their successful ones. 5 wins and 12 losses in the last 3 months on Ancient. A map that doesn't oftenly get picked against them in best of 3 series, but sometimes gets floated as a 3rd map decider. Yerpa trying to see if he can offer up a lurk smoke out towards mid. Not a massive amount of pace here from the Finns going into round 7.
Try and slow things down against the Sangal side if possible. Mentioned baiting utility in the previous round, and already their slow, careful pacing has baited quite a lot from QB, Soulfly, and Scrunk. Well, those smokes are into the defensive line. Soulfly's going to use his out at Cheetah. A main is the big concern, though. Jano have 3 players with bombs stacked up there.
Yeah, Soulfly's getting so much info, though, that nothing's being established out here to the Cheetah control. Now, Corey can re-smoke down towards the A main position. Skrunk's going to make an info play and see nothing at lane. That's the tell that it's mid and A.
Smiley not even being spotted there. Soulfly be wary in case they do get in towards Cheetah. Smokes in towards Candles. Scrunk going for the big old backstab. Got QB Hill held out towards the lane position as Smiley continues making noise. Been spotted and finally removed from play.
Yeah, Skrunk's going to drop this bomb. Easy kill here onto Alu, and now Yellow's going to try and see if he can get that refrag. Good shot there from Zori, but they're red. They are trapped. They are completely sandwiched here in A main.
Sandwich with no choice for the rotations. Either QB's going to cut that off. There'll be no time to go back in from spawn. 30 seconds to try and commit towards the A side. Zori still prodding out here, trying to get a pick on Panics. AWP is at least baited around the corner. The face-in does get that kill. Corey with a responsive. Yellow will try and Molotov him out into the open, which should lead to his demise at least. The 2 more to get, 1 on the back of the A site, 1 more closing in the pincers. Soulfly knows just to wait here. There is no sense in throwing your life away while QB closes in the pincers of the backstab. AK engagement, and he goes for the swing and the kill. Teammates for Sangal as they take the lead.
And that round right there, I think, just starts showing the massive cracks in the default that Jano are offering on the T side. There should be absolutely no way that Scrump can aggress down from ramp, get out to T spawn, backstab A main, and another CT is able to do the exact same thing as Soulfly of getting up towards top lane and seeing nothing at all. That's where Jano are going to have to take a tactical, realize that this T side is very rocky right now, and if we don't adjust quickly, we could be giving away double digits in the first half.
They've had their moment of chat. Discussions with Twister, of course. His individual contributions have been pretty staunch towards the Jano side. But probably not much for this round here. Upgrade pistols to the half invest. Jano could try play quick or try play to do some damage. But Sang will have the one up on them again. Rifle buys as you would expect. Ali first man forward. Soulfly is caught off guard. That's a fantastic entry. M4 in against Scrunk next up. Incendiaries will try force him back into the corner. He'll go. Scrunk swings, takes Ali back, and Yerpa falls in response.
And even though this is just an eco round, I think definitely Jano need to improve on maintaining man advantages, and we'll have to wait to see if that is addressed on going into the majority of these rifle rounds. And Panics, Corey, all just putting that pressure down there to the lane control. Zori's been heard on that rotation out towards Temple. Another clean round coming through from Sangal. And for Jano, we've seen on HLTV in the last 3 months, they've played 30 best of threes. Ancient's been picked 3 times, Jay. So I think that gives you a bit of an idea of how much of a curveball this is. Mirage has been picked 23 times out of 30. So Mirage is always the go-to. It's had a bit of a losing streak. They've gone in with a different direction. And, well, this is the result right now.
A 5-3 scoreline for Sangal at the moment. 5 in a row back for Sangal. Always set Yerpa, trying to spot them. Smokes inbound. Panics moving in. Damage has been done to Yerpa in a small amount. T-side players walking straight into the B side, not being covered off. Skrunk's expecting flashbangs, rightfully to do so. Turns away from the smoke instead. Soulfly gets caught. Skrunk is known. Smiley and Alu just allowed all free reign of the B play.
Skrunk's like, where's the flash? They've just come up on a complete contact. They've walked the entire way up a ramp. Very unorthodox to not even have a single flash there. And you can understand why Skrunk's trying to play anti.
Yeah, I want to clean that up on Sangal. You talked about the holes in Jano's default, or the holes in that defense were pretty gaping. It's a fourth to the ball of the Finns. The save call, of course, because there's no way you're winning the 5-on-3 retake. Panics, doesn't even get away. Yerpa giving it on Corey, and QB will grab that AWP as well, bring it into the next if he can survive with it, and Corey says otherwise. More teammates out there towards lane, but I don't think they'll get away with that weapon. Might blow the way of the CT side, although Corey's not going to recover it. QB can sit back out towards pit. They have enough money for a rebuy here, Sangal.
And this is probably Scrunk now relaying the message over to his teammates that they're actually playing quite gimmicky Counter-Strike. They're not really playing by the book. That is a rarity. I mean, you'll probably only get a walk contact up ramp 1 out of 15 rounds on T-side, and it just happened to be the one time that that no one's jiggle peeking down towards ramp or holding with an AWP to short or long that can spot it out. Sangal are going to try and see if they can adjust themselves by having the AWP down on B.
Pressing from Corey up towards top mid. Soulfly combined with his man. AK swinging forward for Yerpa, but struggles with that spray. Alu with one tray, but even he falls alongside Zori. Yellow getting picked apart. Sangal reinstate their confidence with another round like that.
Well, I think it just shows, other than that one rifle round that Jano have been able to get on a contact, mate, they've been rolled. They have had a super difficult time out in this first half. And right there from Jano, not a massive amount of nades and utility usage coming out to mid, just trying to walk through the re-smoke out from elbow. And if you're not sharp, if you're not hitting that kill immediately up there at heaven, you're going to get punished. A Scrunk supporting with the util of a re-smoke down there at elbow. Jano, surprised we're not seeing more tags from them, to be honest.
Might need to use some of those soon, because Sangal looking to apply pressure. That Molotov extends out towards Yerpa. He's forced to make action against Corey, and Corey knows that he's won that fight from the moment he sees that contact. Easy pickings. Meanwhile, flashes into the B site, going to force a little bit of thinking room for Sangal. All Pavalu ready for Corey. AK on the corner of long. Flashing instead, he gets that headshot. Oh, it's not looking good for Jano.
No, not at all. I mean, anytime you've got a confidence to go for a peak like that, you know you are absolutely pumping them. Nice to see at least Corey getting a flash assist, knowing that there could be an AWP up there, but that's a tough shot. That's not an easy fight to win.
Looking for a little bit more here, Zori. Flanking in on the A side. That bomb still out towards the B lane control, though. If he gets these two picks, he might force rotates back from Sangal. Or they can just try for the split in towards the A site.
Yeah, that's got to be the option. The issue is, how do they deal with QB out here towards Donut? He's been seen. Scrunk is now seen Zori, and this Ghost has been given up. Scrunk's just got to play his life.
Backups quickly on the rotation, though. They're already in the CT spawn. Scrunk gets one, and Smiley gets that trade. Zori trying to play backup. The bomb can go down, or will it? At that corner for Corey, he gets it a little bit too late. So the bomb is planted, and Zori has the 1v3. Can't make it happen, though. Panics the Eagle, panics AWP, rather. Takes the frag. Sangal will find 7.
This is even more one-sided than I thought it was going to be. This is not an entertaining game if you're a Jano fan or you're a Jano player. Now they're getting absolutely destroyed right now. And it's understandable. You are playing a team to a much higher caliber than what you're used to playing. And of course, of what we've seen in the main Swiss stage so far. I mean, take that result against Heat that they played in the first round of main Swiss. That wasn't competitive. They had 4 and 5 rounds in the first half of map 1 and map 2.
Three to the good for Sangal right now. Jano, you mentioned the need to take more tacticals to try and readjust themselves, and should be sitting in the back of their mind relatively soon. Only got so many that they can apply, though. Smoke set on, Yerpa leaning up towards lane control. QB with the M4 backed up in at the back of the boxes. Jano trying to force out some sort of fight, but Sangal just aren't giving them anything.
Yeah, they're playing super defensive. Even the re-smoke goes down to the AWP. HE can go out towards that elbow control and rotate that orb back over to B. You've got a slight info play from Soulfly, who's not seeing anything out towards Cheetah. Alu's been baited, so they know that mid's been compromised completely.
Times are ticking away. Jano still yet to force out an opening fight. Sangal doing minimal damage. About to make a play in for Skrunk's part, though. That smoke to bait them in. Oh, that is very cheeky indeed. Spider's caught looking the wrong way. Zori can at least shut it down at 1-for-1.
And they know what's going on now. It's just about stalling. 30 seconds on the clock. A rotation from Corey is going to set up 3 towards this B site.
Molly set, Soulfly, Incendiary. Blocks them out. Flashes forwards. They're going to wait for it to clear. Flashbang sent as well for Soulfly. They go for a peek. Perhaps, though, a second Incendiary comes down. That's perfectly placed for Sangal. 10 seconds. Jano can't go for this hit here. They stand and fight. Soulfly gets one more pick. 5 seconds. The AWP lands against the wrong individual. Can't get Yerpa either, who gets 2 to return. But it's not enough time still. Sangal make it 8. QB hunting for after time picks. Damn near gets one. But Jano stalled out by all the utility in the world.
And I think it just shows, like, if you ask me, Jay, like, what's going wrong? Fundamentally, they're being outclassed completely in this game. It shows that they're so far out of their depth right now. That round right there from Sangal, I mean, it's a little bit cheeky, right? It's a little bit creative. You re-smoke up towards top of the ramp, which means you're playing back passive on B, and you've actually got an info play from Scrunk, who brings it down. You've got 30 seconds on the clock. There's nothing there from Jano that is I mean, there's no pressure on A, right? There's no mid player. There's no pressure on A. There's no rotation. So you just stack up the bomb side. They're not doing enough in the mid portion of the round of baiting utility. The idea that 30 seconds left, there's 2 incendiaries and further flashes should not be a possibility. And when you play these stronger teams, those mistakes just get ironed out and shown so much cleaner than when you're playing your typical average Joe.
I mean, you only really go for that ramp play because you know it's going to work for Sangal. Jano. Buy starting to get broken down now. Pistols coming in for the reinvestment. Around the 2 save weapons, of course, it would make sense to try and get the economy back into stable lineups. Jano. Need to win something here soon, though. Panic's already engaging one past the B doors. Alu with a flashbang. Catching him blinded. Yeah, Panic's can just escape. Meanwhile, a walk forward towards the A site has been left completely unaccounted for here by Sangal. Scrunk can make his move in. C2, line him up, and knock him, well, knock one down with a TK assist.
The rotation in from Donut is so quick, and they've got no cover of getting the bomb plant down. QB's got an easy kill here onto Sorry. Oh no, he accidentally clicks the right click. Unscopes or unsilences the M4, and now Panics is the last one left.
You're joking me.
Well, at least you can turn that feature off in CS2.
Oh, thank God, yeah. Coming soon to a Steam store near you.
That's it.
Well, I can't believe that's the reason why Sangal conceded the streak. Oh, my Lord. That should have been at least contested by that kill outside of Donut. It fell apart so quickly. Again, a couple gaps in the Sangal defensive on the occasional rounds, with Jano are at least exploiting when they come up. But even so, like, that was a bit of a silly one. One that Jano will happily take, though. They're 5th on the board. Sangal still look lights out. They still look like they got a bye.
Yeah, you could just feel there in that round. I mean, even Scrunk is anticipating that there could have been a walk forward towards A. At the middle portion of the round, Jano did a pretty good job of at least cutting those rotates. I mean, this one kill from Smiley just before Soulfly gets up there towards top of heaven. Just before he starts rotating and putting pressure down there towards that donut angle, he gets caught. A double AWP set up. The IGL of Scrunk's actually going to bring out one.
Big greens in play for Sangal. Alex is going to push himself in aggressive towards main, but not so far as to go into main. Just hold that angle and wait for them to make their move in. QB with the backup incendiary. It's contact shot, fall away. Stop them from making progress.
It's so difficult to go for aggro A main picks as a city side now with the spawn changes, so it makes so much more sense to go defensive.
There's the shot, you up and down, incendiary in the way, Panics re-aggresses it though, and Alu gets a full sense of security. Another pick is found.
Yeah, now they know that there's no more presence outside of A main. They can start shifting that defense. You've got Soulfly still with a bucket load of util. Smiley gonna try and put some pace down, and at least he tries to open up B, and I think he spotted Scrunk out there at long.
AWP is posted though, looks for a shot, misses it, and Smiley can turn it into a 3-on-3. Those efforts towards A site not reciprocated over on B. The retake is on.
Yeah, they might have to just all try and come through from this lane position. That re-smoke is going to waste so much time, and yeah, QB's going to make that call. Corey already trying to fight out towards a cave position onto yellow.
I'm going to pick against him though. Incendiary's head of the smokes. AWP trying to spot them. Just can't see Jack back here. These two players in a cave got a lot of work to do. Only Panics has the kit in play, though. He's going to have to make his way in relatively soon here. Long control known by Smiley. They're going to back off, or at least the AWP is. And that should send the retake back in. No time left for it. Sangal took too long. Jano suppressed too much. Smiley at least goes down. Missouri takes QB in trade. Corey will also drop. Jano will find 6.
Now, Sangal have got to be aware there that in that 3v3, if they've already committed towards cave and they want to save mate, it's not going to happen because the T's are always going to exit out towards that ramp control. It's so difficult to deal with that cross. While it was an excellent beginning coming through from Panic, Smiley tries to re-aggress in front of that incendiary that Soulfly puts down, and I'm sure Scrunk would have preferred maybe an M4 in that kind of position just to get that one-for-one trade. Instead, he has the AWP and just gets baited.
Occasion where double AWP setup is actually detrimental to you. Detrimental in mass as well. You're right about that damage being done out towards the cave control. There's no M4s for this round on their part. Scrunk will grab one. Gubi gets the kills. Yerpa trades it back. The Deagle of Corey will not last long. Panics his AWP back out towards CT spawn. The flash is being sent. Trying to get back into control. Sees one player. Doesn't land it on Yerpa. The Molotov damage plus the spray. They use it at a 4-1-2 for Jano.
Now, Jano are going to get to 7 rounds here on the T side. And Soulfly isn't getting presented with much at all. Scrunk is being watched on the other side of that smoke.
Sorry. I'm going to throw a flashbang over Soulfly. Build attention. Scrunk gets caught looking the wrong way. Did not know where that player at Donut was. Deagle trying to force out a fight or a pick or two. Careful around the back lanes. Tech 9 seeing the Deagle lands another. But not enough to win the clutch in the round. 8-7 at the half for Sangal. I don't know if it feels like an 8-7 half, though, Dweg. There was a period of serious dominance from the German core.
I mean, this could have been very easily somewhere close to a 15-0 with how this first half was going. It was the idea that you won the opening rifle round, or the opening pistol, then anti-eco, and then the third. And then you had your odd round in the center, and then a very big moment from Smiley just to be able to carry it forward. And Sangal were all over them in the first half. So it actually is a fairly scary prospect that Jano have got 7 rounds on the board, because they definitely haven't shown that in the rifle round capabilities.
Glocks and USPs brought to the table here between Sangal and Jano. On the pistol round, it's straight basics. No Julies, no P250s, no Tech 9s, nothing special like that. The default set is Sangal make their way quickly into the B execution. The smokes are down, the mollies are in. They've got a flash in favor for Scrunk. Smiley through the smoke, catches, Panics to kick things off.
And they've still got another flash. Scrunk might actually flash this long smoke to allow Corey to get aggressive.
How much will he get out of it, though? Back lane's also being contested. That flashbang doesn't allow Corey to peek forward of it. Counter flash of the CTs, blind them off. Zori's core, Alu from the back lines finally gets a kill. Corey with 1 and 2. Third man of Yerpa gets it traded back to a 2 versus 2. Scrunk is tagged. Soulfly seen. They peek together. They deal with him. Alu now spots one. Spots them both. Lines up kills. Only gets the 1 frag back. No kit in play for him. Soulfly trying to stall for time. Gets on top of the bomb. Kit has been found, but a kill still found for Soulfly as Sangal take the pistol.
Bloody hell, that looks so jittery. In the 2v1 right there from Scrunk and Soulfly. Skrunk's trying to get back into cave. Soulfly's getting out of cave, and then they're running into one another. Then one peaks and the other doesn't. They'll be happy that that round is over and they can just look past it. In the end, it was Corey that put up the majority of the fight. His Glock had an immense amount of impact towards long.
Did work in the end. He thought he was going to go aggressive with that flashbang, and so did I, to be fair. Later in the round, where everything came together. Mac 10's in for Scrunk to get some money together against the stack of CT forces in from mid. A couple kills found by him. Third. Not quite found on Alu's part. Corey steals that one away. Keep all the main rifles in play. 4 stay alive. Sangal. Base Jano's fall by.
And this is where, for Jano, you've got to work with the advantage that the scoreline has for you. You're only down by 3. You're going into an opening rifle. I think Alu's been incredibly quiet, but it's T-side AWPing of Ancient. It can be tough. This is where we need to see the monster. Now, again, you've got to wait for the economy to be able to get into a position where you can get the big green. But with how much impact he's been having over the course of this main Swiss stage, and specifically that last game, we need to see Alu perform.
Let's see what he can do here. He's part of the first forward contact. Flashbang on Soulfly. Yellow peeking for it. Alu assists on those 2 kills. 5 on 3.
It just comes with a little prod of information. A slight flash over ramp. just to peer around, see what's going on, and two players that are trying to walk up on a contact, the Soulfly and Panics, just get caught in the open. Now, Sangal have got a lot of mid control. They've got Corey working out here towards Donut. QB still looking up here at Candles. It's a tough route to recover, though. They need an entry. They need to try and get Corey closer and closer to this A site to make it workable.
Scrunk finds Alu on a trade back. 1 point of HP for him, though. Should be found pretty easily by Jano's trade game. QB and Corey got to do the heavy lifting. Scrunk has the bomb on his back and the utility on his pouch. Might set up for some sort of AXE. And to be fair, Zori is the only player to defend it. They get him, they get a bomb plant. The concern will be the 3-on-3 retake.
He's in a good position out here towards Brokey. Peeks out in the open, and Corey's just not there to trade on the contact. This now makes it almost impossible to get a bomb plant.
Yeah, Scrunk being marked. Corey needs to get this pick. Indeed he does. Second player out there, though. Yerpa with a trade. Scrunk now known. Oh, somehow gets away with that second kill. Bomb plant. Could be forced out. Yeah, I think he's playing something smart, but no, they face together with Smiley. And they get the pick to find the 8th for Jano.
It just shows there again for Sangal, you had the likes of Corey playing the height advantage into Donut to look towards CT while QB's walking out on the side. So as soon as Zori gets that kill out towards Brokey, there's just no trade. There's no one that can peek on the contact. I don't think both teams are showing us the full strength and the true colors of what they can actually offer in this opening map. And it might come off of the basis that it is a curveball. The Ancient is not a map that's hugely successful for either one of these two teams.
The Eagles, Glocks, all they got to play with here for Sangal, looking for guns in the next. Jano, couple of AK saved from the previous round. Scrunk will go down. That flash a little bit too deep there from the T side, so Smiley unaffected by it. Yerpa follows suit. Smiley could get a whole ton out of this one. There's his quadra. There's a 9th.
Yeah, we saw Smiley back in the playoffs of the Alyssa Invitational winter of 2021 when he had a stint out on Harvu. He'll be looking to try and get back into that position. And that was a good test for him. A good opportunity in his career. Started out on Hereds, went over to Harvu, and then eventually went over to Kova before joining up with Alu and Zori here on Jano. And he's been here for about 6 months or so now.
The last 6 minutes, Jano managed to even up, or almost even up against Sangal here. CT side needs to just push that a little bit further, shut down Sangal in this rifle round, and then take a 10-10 scoreline, at which point this match is back on. It went from a confident affair for Sangal, for Jano bringing it back to look competitive. And now back in for Corey to open things up. Yerpa can trade in.
Panics though, bomb out in the open. That could have been a massive kill from Smiley, but he's whiffed it completely. And now Zori's just going to get sandwiched down here on A. At least they've dealt with a lurk towards B.
SMG in a 1 versus 3, basically. 3-on-3 overall, but Zori, as you mentioned, should get overwhelmed and surrounded. There's no CT backup. They are so far away. Pushing in from ramp, still thinking there might be some sort of B play with that bomb revealed. The Molotov sent, however, that should indicate what's going on. Zori, what can he get out of this? QB up close, panics his orb, ready to mark him. Shot down, A site open.
Scrum has got a very easy pick here onto yellow. Him and Jerp are actually going to try and go for this.
Plant down, secured, flashed in towards Donut, and Scrunk knows they're coming. Yerpa checking that back corner, but being counter-flanked. Oh, this is perfect. Hubie gets the kill. Last man, Yellow's running for it. No HP to go for this clutch. Even getting hunted down by Panics. The AWP knows he's out here somewhere. Is he going to face him? No, he's not. He'll get away with the 11-9.
Nah, Skrunk's coming, mate. Skrunk's going to get an easy kill. Sangal put on a very good performance there out to the mid-control. I mean, Alu's just in the open. Just on an off angle out towards Donut and just gets clothesline there. And try and work the timing. I mean, Smiley's got to be so frustrated himself because that was a fairly easy pick up there from heaven and he just can't connect the bullets. That would have been such a different round if that bomb got dropped at elbow.
Gun buy as well, going to get weakened for Jano. Again, their economy is on the ropes. Sangal, perfect opportunity to really cripple them here and try and run to the end of the map up. Jano could well be worst case scenario for them. This is their own map pick. Angle. See when the smoke's coming in, the CT side just going to suppress them.
Oh, spam is pretty good there from Soulfly. Now, that could be slight misdirection. They might actually think that he's lower than he is. Jano have got no one on B directly, so they could be worried that there was a ramp walk and just a contact up in B. Super defensive right now from Jano. And we've seen this for the majority of rounds in the second half. Playing deep in bomb sites rather than trying to make info plays.
Yellow tagged, panics, firing away. Alu's AWP posted. Molotov to force him out of the position. Will he win the fight as a result of it? No, he can't. AWP, quick scope back, flick QB going to force forward and get the trade.
Now, QB's got so much map control out here towards A, but what they don't know about is the cave walk. This bomb's going to end B. Yellow's on low HP, and he's already been caught off now.
Two standing, one on the back of the B site, and he's just dealt with so quickly. Yerpa. Yep, down to the round itself. Sorry. 1-on-4 for him to hold on to that M4. This bomb will go down. Sangal should find a 12-9. There's nothing that the last CT can do about it here. Again, economy in a bit of a state for the Finns. Their position will be a very broken investment if they wanted to force the issue. Second stage loss bonus, though. I imagine they might just eco around this M4.
Yeah, they won't buy anything here. Right, Corey, one of the guys, I think, especially in that game against Sprout on 500, we were talking about quite a lot in the pregame. A very strong rifler, one that has been very successful over the course of this main Swiss stage. Kind of lent a slightly different direction in this series to contrast the two AWPers. But Corey's been impactful. 22 kills, 15 deaths. He was involved in that pistol round victory in the second half. He's put a lot up. Definitely one of the stronger riflers on this Sangal pack.
12-9. Jano. M4 for Zori being the only thing in play. Sangal, gun set. Lashes in for QB to get out towards the A site because they know that there's going to be a gamble stack somewhere and it's likely to be B. So, pop out, bomb plant, round over.
I'd really like Zori to hold on to this M4 and everybody else to try and protect him in case there is a hunt going down. Soulfly's getting very aggressive up against the anti-eco.
Oh, he's got 2 for it. 3 kills, 4 kills on that spray, and Zori's got no protection left. Just left them all for dead, like, bye guys, I'll see you in the next round. Keep the M4. 13-9, Sangal. Oh, panics. I didn't even see him back here at spawn. Zori might be in trouble. He might not even realize how much he's really in. They're hunting him. They want this M4 out of the round.
Yeah, of course they do. But it's still quite a bit of distance from him and the B players. So it looks as if he will just be able to save right at the end. Zori deeper out towards T-spawn in a massive off angle. I've never seen this height boost coming through, and it gets cleared. So right at the end. That's something new, actually. I haven't seen that pause before.
Panics took a moment there. Is that a pixel boost? Like,
I'm gonna have a quick look, actually. I'm doing.
It was a bit of a weird one.
No, there's like a pallet. I say a pallet. It's like a wood barrier, I guess is the terminology of it. So no, I don't think it's a pixel boost.
Well, either way, it didn't make a difference. He died anyway. Despite a little bit of comedy from the AWP's position, didn't realize how close he really was or exactly where the man was. Kill was found, Jano. Back to the reinvest, but with Famas's on 3 players, 2 M4s for Zori and Alu. There are no kits for retake. Zori will stand on defense. Flashbang trying to keep the players blinded. Counter flash return from the T side line. Soulfly swings, and Zori doesn't stand a chance. Neither does Alu. They are just steamrolling Jano again.
It's exactly what happened in the first half when we got deeper into the rifle rounds. I think it's quite concerning knowing that Jano have still got 9 rounds here because Sangal have been the far better team in this first map of the series. Yerpa's going to get caught. Yellow can't even peek on the contact to try and get him out of trouble, and it's just, there's more rifles not being saved, which does not help the situation whatsoever for the Finns.
Oh, Soulfly, what an adjustment. 14-9, the longest tenured player. Making pretty decent work of Jano here. 21 picks for him so far in this matchup, second only to Corey on 22. Both those players knocking Jano out effectively every single round here. Half invest for the CT Forces. Going to try play 6 rounds in a row to overtime. You're right about the rifles being lost. It just gives no breathing room for the Jano side. Quick in for Soulfly, sees 2, gets 1, keeps that spray going and gets Alu in the end.
Now, Alu does his best to at least get 1. I mean, they've done a fair amount of damage out there to the mid-control. It's just that because no one's there to be able to pick up the weapons or even to drop Soulfly, it feels unrewarding. Zori, Smiley, Yellow, all out here to the B site. And for a moment, it actually does look as if Sangal might end B, so this could work out nicely for them.
The Eagles in a 5-7. Jano. Sit back on that B site and hope that Sangal face them. It's semi-likely given the default set in towards lane. Rory's making his way in from Cheetah, so let's see if there's any intrigue to this defense.
It could be. The thing is, there's so much util, and that's the issue that the Pistols are going to face up against, is that once that utility comes through, especially the smokes, the mollies, and the flash assists, it's so difficult.
Zori goes down. Yellow taking the Eagle fight. Corey smokes from his teammate. Oh, panics, gets Smiley through the wallbang. They're spamming Yellow down, inches away from his face. The AWP trying to hunt for the man here. Does take a quick couple of pop shots, but unable to connect the kills onto anybody. Caught on the reload. Corey just sprays him down. There it is. 15-9, map point for Sangal. Here on Ancient, the map pick of Jano. It's that in its own right should be concerning for how this series goes down. One final rifle round for Jano to get 6 in a row. It just doesn't feel possible right now.
No, it doesn't. And for Sangal, this has got to be such a benefit and such a great feeling that you finally are able to win a map in an Alyssa Invitational, right? Because this has been 2 series back-to-back where they haven't won a map against Sprout and against 500. And it's the 3rd best of 3 that's way more positive. Beat pop straight away.
Soulfly in, Yellow mows them down. Pop out. Dealt with instantly by the Finns. Yellow especially. 5 HP, but all 5 are still alive. And Sangal tried to end things in an instant. It didn't work.
And normally the best counteraction of dealing with a pop is good anti-rush utility or just being able to beat them to the punch. And I think that's what Yellow did right there. Not sure if that was a read or just an early peek down there for information towards ramp, but he had a flash behind him and everyone there from Sangal is obviously playing anti. They're trying to look in towards the wall so they can have those flashes in from the teammates to get them up to the site, and Yellow just gets away with 3.
Well, Scrunk caught off guard there on a peek against Smiley. Panics his AWP scoping. Yellow knows. Oh, Molly sent. Flashbang. Keeping that man blinded as the 2 CP start wrapping. Yellow is going to get caught out last. QB assisted on that particular frag, but it doesn't matter too much. Smiley gets that trade. And Jano stay alive for now. 15-10. That's 1 out of 6.
Yeah, double AWPs coming through for the Jano side. We know that Zori is very good on that weapon. So get 1 into the hands of him, 1 out from Alu. Yeah, those 2 players, the 2 veterans, the 2 most experienced players, I want to say, in this entire matchup, are struggling individually to make that impact happen. Sangal have got 5 chances to close it down here, and this is one of them.
Nades on Soulfly. Molly sent to Smiley. Counteraction there for Sangal's part. Works in, AWP of Alu lands Skrunk's head, and Jano are trying to get Spool back up here, trying to make the tail end of this map competitive. Opening phrase consistently going their way as Alu lands on Soulfly. You said you wanted to see him step up. That's exactly what he's done.
There we go. That's the Alu we know. That's the Alu that we've seen over the majority of this main Swiss stage. Having some X Factor, having some flair. And now for Sangal, you're going to get pressured. AWP from Zori, gonna find that connection out there on A. Every kill so far in round 26 has come from an AWP.
Will it be all 5? AK on QB, trying to prod forward, trying to do some damage because no one's even landed a shot off on Jano. Alu posted. Oh, okay. That's a good tap. Very crispy indeed, but not enough. 15 to 11. Jano, continue to stay alive.
Yeah, for Sangal, it's just all about closing now. AWP on the boost up from Alu, got himself out there towards a cave position. There's not much you can do about those kind of shots. I mean, that's some very quick adjustments there from Alu. You've got to think about more the mid-round and the default and how you're able to blind off the AWPer and maybe put some further utility against him. You've got the AWPs out towards mid and A this time rather than B.
Done by again for Sangal, starting to whittle down the money state. Slow walks in for Scrunk. Yeah, but AK standing, Corey caught, frag on to the second, not quite a successful. Scrunk trades it, Zori pressure from both sides now. Backup is there in Alu, both AWPs on the defense, smoking the way. Molly send one pack in, Alu can't see into the bomb site. The bomb should commit and should get planted.
And they've still got that late lurk out towards elbow. Panic's just trying to cut that rotate from the top lane position. Everyone's been able to get out towards CT spawn and Alu's dealt with.
Soulfly and Scrunk chime in. Smiley gets one back. Now needs to enter alongside Yellow. Both inbound from Temple. That backstab coming in towards mid will now join the main T-side force. A counter backstab from that AWP. Haven't seen where the player on the backside is itself though. QB spotted. Smiley does some damage. The sprays are good to do damage to return to the CT forces. Yellow now against both the AWPers here. Panic's caught. Got Scrunk. He turns on. Smiley alone. Gets one headshot. Needs QB next, but QB has the better crosshair placement and the better weapon. 16-11 as finally Sangal closed out Ancients.
Well deserved there from Sangal. They played very well out on map 1 of the series, and they deserve to come away with this victory. For Jano, I'm surprised they've actually put up as many rounds as they have, and it almost gives me a slight amount of hope, Jay, that going into map 2, even with their map pick stolen, that we're still going to have a fight here. We're still going to at least have a challenge.
Well, that's the concern, though. This was their strong suit. This was their map pick. This is the one where we said that Jano should be able to take if they're playing their A game. Unfortunately, it's not been taken. Sangal's pick of Inferno is up after the break, and Jano will be facing elimination when we return.
because we need your help.
Our days of struggling may soon be over.
Hollywood, here we come. If you come across a body, you have to yell, "Body, body, body!"
Oh, booking.com. I'm going to somewhere, anywhere. A beach house, a tree house. Honestly, I don't care. Hello, humidity. A fancy hotel with a sexy garden.
Landscape architect.
A tiny home with aggressive flair. Somewhere, anywhere. As long as they have childcare.
Booking.com, booking.
Yeah.
Starbucks Double Shot Energy Drink. Focus to do you. What gives you energy?
A valiant and surprising effort from Jano. We thought they might get stomped out of this series for a very brief period of time, and a very extended period of time, rather, over the course of that ancient, but ultimately it did go the way of Sangal. The pick of Jano now concluded. Sangal's pick of Inferno coming up next week. And I know before the break you were saying, listen, there's a little bit of faith now. Jano put a bit of a fight there, but this is also Sangal's map pick. In my eyes, it does feel like it's prime position for the 2-0 that you mentioned.
Yeah, of course it is, right? I mean, just because you're going to give a fight doesn't mean you're going to take the map. We know that this is the dreaded Inferno for the likes of Jano. They always ban it in the second wave of the veto. Teams are picking it against them, and it just happens to be that Sangal's strongest map in the pool is Inferno. I don't think you could have got a better veto here from Sangal to go into what is not only a punish ban, but also a strength pick.
Yeah, 4 wins in the last 3 months for the Jano side. 1 was against Ignis Serpents in the last round of the Swiss stage where they had stand-ins galore. So there's not a lot to pull from to say that Jano can take this. They're going to have to work hard and quick and easily sit themselves into this matchup from here on out. Sangal up by 1, hunting for the 2-0, and may well just get it here with the pistol live between Jano and Sangal.
Now, for the Jano side, you have a look at guys like Zori and Alu and think, are they going to step up to the plate? We saw a couple of good rounds here and there from Alu, but the consistency just wasn't there in comparison to the series we saw from them in the last round of Swiss. Zori, with the HE, goes in very deep, and the T's have slowly been able to gain this top banana control.
P2K just trying to face from the man. Nade set to do some damage. I think minimal amounts done towards Corey. At least return the favor from the initial contact peak. T-side waiting it out here towards this B aggression. Panics is holding.
They're drawing some more of that utility. There's a very heavy setup out here towards the A site. Trying to see if they can draw them into the setup. There's a boost out towards a long position. Yellow playing super defensive out towards Graveyard.
Bodies up. Player seen. Scrunk looks to take an engagement, but Yellow turns it against him. An advantage for Jano as they draw out first blood. Sangal pressured out towards that A side with the 4-man stack forming up. Zori now got pressure of his own right. The T side players are incoming. Panics down to 1 point of health. Corey wrapping that corner, forcing Zori back. Should allow enough breathing room for the bomb plant here.
Now, Corey's got to take a fight, got to try and open up some of this space out here towards Goffins. Panics is on low HP to fight Alu towards Banana.
Alu should be able to get that shot in very easily. Corey's got a little bit more work to do. He just can't get it done. Soulfly now pressured as Panics will fall. Glock in versus 4. Can't get it done against Yellow, the first man, as the first pistol goes the way of Jano.
Now, Sangal will probably still buy it up going into this second round. Now, Scrunk tried to call an A set piece fake. You've got that molly going down towards a pit control. He starts working out from short. You've even got QB out towards the apartments. Not forcing that much of an over rotation, pretty much just because there were so many players towards A as it is anyway. And for Zori, considering that he was the util man, he wasted time, he did some damage, rotations came out very quickly. The Sangal are going to get tested in this second round, though. Hardly any SMGs for Jano to work with, just the one.
Sangal, that bomb plant bonus is going to aid them dearly. We've seen how quickly they can frag back against Jano, turn the tide of any disadvantage. That Ancient is a prime example of it. AK in for Scrunk, posted out to check out the balcony entrance over at the apartments with the Galils and the Eagles set. Damage being done to QB here. He returns a lot more to Alu, though.
Yeah, this could actually be quite a pacey T-side. I mean, right here, Scrunk has just been able to explode into brackets and just gain free map control. They've put some further spam back onto Alu. Soulfly is gaining top banana control. As Sangal are getting a lot of respect of taking this map presence.
Keep on fighting them back. QB trying to lead them into the A site. Being very careful about this. Sangal have gone quiet and slowed things down.
And they don't know about Yellow out here towards Graveyard. I think it's been seen now from Scrunk. Yellow just about gets that spray transfer, but he needs more. He is surrounded completely.
Backed up in pit, back up on the way for Jano, but they won't get here in time. Yellow's got to at least get a 1-for-1 trade, and he gets absolutely nothing for it. That calls it in. It's got to be a save here for Jano.
And just misdirection, something that Jano really struggled with on the city side of Ancient was reading and understanding the info that's presented in front of them. That round right there is no information. There's no play to go forward to get an idea of what the round is. It's a slight gamble stack. Alu rotates over towards B. And as soon as Smiley drops, you just know that Yellow's done for. He has to have a miracle kind of round just to keep that possible for the retake.
Yeah, for at least finds an exit on Soulfly. AK the same into the next round. But Jano concede a round to Sangal, and that's the more important thing here. Back up in control for the Sangal side. Their first taken at the detriment of Jano's economy state. Those 3 rifles are going to be vitally important to them. Had a serious struggle when it came to saving those guns over an Ancient as well. So we'll see how that plays out as this one rolls on. But now it should be enough to potentially force a round here, especially with the double eco status.
Now, Jano are going to be quite uncomfortable with the force buy, but they've got no other option. At least that upgraded AK just adds that slight amount of bonus forward. A 1-to-1. Sangal know that they're in prime position now to get off to an opening start, to put the pressure back onto Jano. Make it uncomfortable for the beginning of Inferno.
Positions just posted up for Corey and Soulfly. Got smokes ready for Zori's part. Put it out for Yerpa with the flashing initially first. Soulfly wins that engagement though and starts things off for Sangal.
Yeah, we saw Sangal picking Inferno up against the Looking for Org side in the second round of Main Swiss. And they got 6 rounds on their T side and 6 rounds on their CT side. So looking to try and make it more damaging. Up against the stack here in brackets though.
Oh, no one checked the boost up. Yellow can get 2 picks for it. Corey and Panics, however, turn it around. Get both players on the crossfire. When Jano had the jump on Sangal, that should have been theirs.
I don't know about should have been, but it could have been more, right? I mean, I think Yellow's very disappointed that none of his teammates are able to assist. Anytime you're multi-fragging from an elevated angle, whether it be porch or up on the flowers, and you've got 3 of your teammates all around you, you should be getting more trades there. And for Sangal, they ripped that one apart. It obviously did help with that opening entry that Soulfly was able to get towards top banana, but Jano just crumble with the scene.
That they do. Sangal get to 2. 2 in a row, in fact. All 5 players falling means that Jano have no real firepower potential, even though it would have been ill-advised to go for a force around rifles anyway. They certainly won't have anything to play with in round 4. USPs, P2K, that is it.
Now, Sangal are probably getting quite familiar with the idea of going 2 and 3 in Main Swisses. Bet Boom, CCT Central Europe Series 6, all featured 3 and 2s, even North Europe Series 4. So this is the pretty much 4th Main Swiss stage event back-to-back in which they've had to go all the way to the final rounds. And sometimes that's how it's got to be, right? It means that the seeding's going to be tough for the playoffs. But, yeah, I'm sure Sangal would have liked to have got in a little bit earlier than where they are now.
Well, I mean, saying that from the 2-0 position certainly is almost a guarantee. Oh, miss molly there from Soulfly. Doesn't matter, he's charging forwards. Wants to pick on the AK. Flash is sent Yerpa, missed him. Kill against Zori instead. Actually, QB trades back on Smiley's part. Alu falls out towards the A side, but Yerpa's still fragging out here in a banana. That bomb can't cross safely with that smoke about to fade. Yellow gets caught by Scrunk anyway, so now Panics can pick it up and start the rotations. Jano will do the same.
Yeah, I've no idea what's just happened on the A side. We were looking at from the POV towards banana, which was very successful for both Yerpa and for Zori, but QB gets 2 kills. The A side just crumbles.
That engagement looked really awkward against Yerpa as well. They actually get QB through the smoke. This is a 2-on-2. That's actually recoverable here for Jano. Panics. Needing to go for the safer default plant rather than backside. Yerpa moves in with that M4. Scrunch picked up the AWP, loses his life. Panics now with one of his own versus 2. Aware of the player coming in from short. Must be aware of Zori the same. But the question is, when does he fade through that smoke? Not yet. Shot back. Zori seen! And Panics lands it. That's 4 for Sangal.
And that was played to absolute perfection right there from Panic. So he knows there's a short player, and if there's only one towards short, he's probably coming murder. So reposition yourself. You've already given up the ghost. You've already given the angle of default. So move back into the bomb site, go on the other side of default, open and exchange the angle to deal with one portion of the map at a time, and then look at how quickly after he gets that kill, he just looks right in that smoke, because he knows, I didn't see anybody else towards short.
Knew exactly where to respond towards it, and again, contrary to his namesake, cool, calm and collected in that clutch. Not so cool here for the CTs up towards mid. Actually, they do manage to overwhelm, and Sangal will take back control. It's a little bit scary with the trades going well, but ultimately it does end with a 5th in Sangal's favor. Jano back on the rifles here.
Yeah, this game is strangely competitive. And I don't mean any disrespect to Jano, but again, they are out of their depth. This is a team that we normally see going out of the contenders. I mean, having the opportunity of qualifying to main Swiss is huge. And even having the opportunity of beating 2 teams to get into the 5th round of Swiss, you can't fault it. You have to give the credit. But there is a massive disparity difference between these 2 teams. 5-1 from Sangal.
Oh, nice wall banks from QB there. Tapping through the apartments, tagging 1 player down. It's a goosh onto Smiley. The uppercut tagged up by Utility out here to the top of Banana. While he's sent into panic. Spray through, does not quite catch the kill against him. The second face almost does, but Corey bails out his AWP. Zori still trying to look for that pick, but thinks smarter of it, falls back. Meanwhile, Scrunk trying to dismantle the A setup. 1 player out of short, 2 in out of the apartments. 1's caught. Yellow distracted by QB back at the bridge position. It's a 1-on-5 for Zori. How dismantling is this round for Sangal?
It just shows there in the default, Jano are struggling individually. Right there towards Car. That's a very awkward exchange. And then Corey comes through the smoke to back up the AWP. And Skrunk's reading the game very well. He is finding so many gaps here in brackets, and he's just exploiting it. He's putting himself in aggressive positions where he's taking that map control away. And then it comes down eventually to everyone just being caught repositioning and trying to rotate in there from Jano on the default.
I think the phrase "out of your depth" definitely describes what that round could really look like there. You mentioned for Jano in the previous one, and then suddenly they just get picked apart piece by piece. Sangal, the right reads, the right fights, not a single player falling. Didn't seem like they were challenged at all there in that round. QB finds Smiley. Skrunk is forced to take a TK to get Yellow to fall. And he falls back to Yerpa anyway. Mag 7 around the corner for Alu. Zori's Deagle gets 1 tap. Second, lesser so. Panics will face. And finally, the man will fall. So damaging round for Sangal, but Jano again, not enough firepower to get it past the finish line.
Yeah, this is an excellent effort at what is just a half pie. A Yerpa coming through from City Spawn. I mean, go for it, mate. See what happens.
At this point, why not? Jano need rounds. Never buying the next. The AK is going to be a quite positive, but Soulfire's got 1 man in the corner. You get that pick, but Panics is able to respond. Sang will get the team ace. 4 players to fall. Typically, I'd say it'd be damaging, but they got so much cash, it doesn't really matter. So, at least in the short term, it doesn't matter. Jano focusing on the short term with their gun buy.
And for Jano, it's a shame that we're not seeing that performance that we saw from them against 500. Because I think out of any game that they played in the main Swiss stage, even though that was a loss, that was the most impressive game to me. That they could almost 2-0 500, who have positioned themselves as a legitimate threat towards the tail end of the main Swiss.
Well, the AWP Panics pressed in towards mid, around the outside. The AWP to the right. Checking out that short control. Resmokes onto the CT side. Yerpa caught off Soulfly with that kill. Expecting someone to be much close and personal here for Jano. Nades on Zori. Jump face. Alu spotted, I think. Zori certainly is now. Damage returned to the T side line, but the kills keep going the way of Sangal. Panics with the latest. Soulfly rephases. Alu goes falling, and again, Jano have been picked apart.
They're just hitting everything right now. Not even smoking off CT spawn. Smiley is 0-0-8. This is tough. Very tough from Jano. And this is where it's becoming a position where it's almost like a pug from Sangal. It's very dry. It's very tempo-based. It's very individual because they know that we're just absolutely ripping them with the fights right now. We don't need to give them the set pieces. We don't need to give them the slow, passive defaults where we're going back and forth with util. No, just charge up and hit them.
Yeah, it's Yellow finding Corey next. Oh, and QV lands on Yellow perfect. 8-1. Sangal have the half already. Jano have nothing significant to speak of, honestly. The CT side really has found so little. You mentioned the idea of 15-0s over on the first half of Ancient. Right now, this is looking like it could well be 14-1 with the way this is going. The confidence just brimming. Jano, even when they get close, they can't quite find enough to beat out Sangal in some of these rounds. It looks like the pure outclassing that we feared it might be.
And again, I think for Jano, I mean, Smiley's only been here for about 6 months or so. Yellow's only just joined the team, and they've got a stand-in. They're in difficult situations, but they're being pumped. Nothing's working out there at all. You've got pop flashes through smoke. Soulfly gets a couple of kills. That ruins the round completely already. I think it shows for Jano more time is going to be seriously required. We saw this morning that they were eliminated out of the European Pro League Season 8. The season before, they were able to go one step further. Didn't even take a map. Lost both games to Ikla and the Prodigies in both the opening game and the elimination in the GSL groups. Yeah, tough right now for Jano.
Sangal is going to keep applying the hurt because they know where this CT side stands. Damage will be done to Smiley. 5-7 can at least trade it back onto Panics. Yui there to make sure that rifle does not fall into CT hands. Cover off the wraparounds, any rotations that might come back. The bomb's down on the B site. Last player of Yellow is in at pit. So far away from pulling anything off here. Deagle in hand. Sangal with 9. Jano just biting for a miracle at this point.
Yeah, Soulfly is going to try and get in here to the pit control, spot out Yellow. Another round to add to the tally for Sangal. And I think, again, it does speak volumes to how strong some of these teams can be in main Swiss. Because when we look at contenders, I think there's very few contenders teams that can kind of go on to main Swiss and maybe go on to make the playoffs. This main Swiss stage is extremely stacked. And anytime you've got a matchup where one of the underdog teams or one of the weaker teams goes deep in the event, things like this can happen, where the series is just massively one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, it could well have been that wave on Ancient, just a few spurts of life from Jano. Surprised the first half was as close as it was. It didn't feel that way from the gameplay stance, so Sangal, maybe a bit more of expectations out on this one. Yellow, however, with Smiley, want to throw a bit of fight in to this A defensive. They get 2 picks and drop that bomb. Corey in from the apartments now. Alu's trying to spot him. That smoke should get in the way. Focus on the short control instead. Feed right back to Scrunk. Flash in. The kill has been found. One more player still sat back at pit. Meanwhile, the CT's on the bomb site and out towards long. They've rotated and adjusted here.
And they know that Yellow's still here in pit. Yerpa's going to try and see if he can assist the best that he can from this long control. But Sangal is just waiting for the repeat, and they've run out of util. All they've got is a smoke. Panics has seen one of the rotations back towards Arch.
Now we can try and focus on Yerpa. Turns away from it. Thought there might have been a bit of utility. Saw the shoulder, most certainly. He has the info of the motor individual. They've got to get Yellow, though. That bomb is in over at pit, and the flash in from Yellow is not good enough. Yerpa caught peeking. 3 versus 3. Panics, leans closer, tries to wrap her in against Zori. 30 seconds. The Sangal players on short and apps need to make a move.
Yeah, this is all about distraction. This is an easy kill. No, Zori actually turns around. A massive timing.
Suspected it might have been the case. No one was watching long. Jano trying to hold the back lines here, still trying to hold control. This is the Orkland Scrunk. And Corey is left alone. 1 versus 3 for him, trying to bait in that orb to make a mistake. Can't hit his shots, though. Way too inaccurate. Will take Yellow with him, at least make an expensive one for Jano. But it is a second round.
And that's got to be a very good feeling there from Yellow and Smiley, because I think they even deserved that. That was a pretty good hold, actually, from Pit in the mid site. They deal with the app spot, they get the first kill. Smiley peeks on the contact, and yeah, for a moment, it looks like Sangal are bringing that back, and I'm sure if they got that kill onto Zori, that could have actually changed the complexion entirely. But a good initial defense and a strong enough round for Jano to close it down.
Rebuy will be received by Jano, of course. Smokes, Molly's in, Soulfly. Straight up to Banana, has Corey right behind him as well. Incendiary thrown for the CT. Falls to Soulfly, gonna force forward the flashbang, gets you up on the first headshot. Zori in trouble, tries to flash and keep him blinded, but hide behind second, seeing Soulfly take some serious damage. Corey, next man in, sees him, overwhelms him, gets the bomb site under Sangal control.
Now this has got to be another save. There's just no room. You don't have players in rotating positions. You haven't been able to deal with that B side. But even Panics is aggressed out towards CT Sport, hunting down. That's the NWP dropping. QB's going to try and drop weapons too.
Yeah, what else do you do? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. They need the rounds, but they can't afford to spend these weapons. And even then, they try and save, and the Sangal side go hunting. It is a lose, lose, lose situation for Jano here. AK Smiley staying in, or is it? Rory's leaning in from the long control. Got Panics here. Coming up to Library now, does get caught. Grab that orb, get chased. Corey can't get the pick. Try as he might. It's futile. Not like it matters. 10-2 for Sangal.
And I really hope that Jano, going into the player break and maybe even coming out of the player break, address the veto and map pool of where they sit right now. They've either got to play Vertigo or they've got to improve their Inferno. It has to be one of those two. Yes, okay, in this circumstance, it's one of Sangal's best maps in the pool, but this map of Inferno is punish pick in pretty much every single series against these guys.
Nades on damage, Panics lands Alu. Kicks things off, Flash is sent towards his position. Continuing to connect blindness, the Incendiaries on for the CT side. Zori trying to get out of the way. Him and Yerpa. Oh, it was just him and Yerpa. Now it's just Yerpa alone on the B defensive as the second wave utility comes in for Sangal. He's now in trouble. Jano have left him for dead to go for the three-man stack on the A site, hoping that there's a rotation from Sangal, hoping they can catch them off, or otherwise just save the weapons again. The M4, valuable to the CT side, seen by Soulfly, forced in the open. The kill is at least found against the Turkish player. Now with a bit more to go, Corey can trade it. Wrap in against Zori, the AWP brings it into a 3-on-3. Can he get more?
And the bomb's going to get passed over here to Skrunk. QB still got lurked out here to A. Skrunk's going to tap it. They're going to bring that bomb back to A. What is this?
Oh, my Lord. Sangal just playing them for fools now. The Orps even landed the frag on Smiley just to make doubly sure they're going to continue committing. He knows that Zori is out there in the smoke somewhere. Sees him as it disappears. That's a triple. On for the quadra. He spotted the last. Panic stations for Jano now. 11-2 for Sangal. They are not letting up.
Yeah, they're having a fun time right now. This is going accordingly to plan right now from Sangal. And Panics has just had a mad round. Zori gets a refrag. They try their best. And as soon as QB realizes that there's the over-rotation, rather than cutting the rotates, he's hearing them tap the bomb, draw them even further. And Panics just go frag, mate.
Another one. It's like a Queen song, and another one gone, and another one gone. Another Finn bites the dust. Zori trying to see if he can change that narrative, though. Does get Corey to return.
The Panics is waiting to see if there's another overpeak to come here from the car position. This is the first time in a while that Jano have actually had a proper winnable round. And they've got a boost up coming through from the new box angle. Soulfly's got a lot of map control for free on a contact towards top banana.
Alu posted, Skrunk pinned. Panics and Soulfly. In the smokes, disappearing through it, catching the wrong carrier. Perfect timing on his own part, and finally Jano have a little bit of confidence, a little bit of a breath of life. It's 3 rounds so far in this half, all separated. Sangal have plenty of cash, of course. They will be rebuying here. They make it 12-3. And even at 11-4, Jano don't have many chances.
No, not at all. I don't even think it could have been similar to Ancient, right? Where even if the scoreline showed us one thing, if the rounds were still being played out the same, the chances are always going to be extremely minimal. Early anti-rush nades going out towards the banana control. Nades stack up there towards a half full. No one playing there from Jano.
Sangal going back for a bit of extra utility, dropped in spawn as well.
Yeah, the best one, Jay, in the pugs is when you're playing Vertigo on CD side, always buy an extra flash because you'll need it for the retake.
Indeed you will. Of
Yeah.
course. Of course, try and make sure you put it in a spot where it's not going to roll off the building.
Very true. Do you know what I've started seeing on Nuke as well? There's a couple of positions on outside towards T-Spawn that you can actually have lineups to throw the smoke, like to drop the smoke. There's actual lineups to drop the smoke, not even throw it.
That's amazing.
It just means it doesn't roll away. There actually is.
That's fantastic. See, who said that update was useless to the game, honestly? Another dimension added to Counter-Strike by dropping nades. Soulfly adding another dimension to this round as well. Look at how deep in his spawn he's got. Jano have no idea.
And they've got to realize that there's a potential. I mean, anytime there's a double cross smoke, you normally get wrapped in from construction. So they have an idea that this is going to be the case. It's just what they could do against it.
Spray through, Scrunk trades. The bomb has been seen. In the apartments, one man's going to walk in. Yellow has absolutely no idea. The Orpabalu trying valiantly to trade it back. He sprung into life in these last couple rounds, and now is the only player on the A defensive. Alu's wary of a backstab. Seeing Squong, or hearing him rather, coming in. AK wraps over, burst fire, open for business. The bomb will go down. Panics even cuts off the rotates attempts from Yerpa. And Zori, well, what can you do in this situation?
Yeah, nothing at all. I mean, that was very clever there. Scrunk actually just makes a tiny bit of noise before going through that smoke, and then Alu's completely tunnel vision from that point onwards because time is low. Out towards the long control at Library. I'd like to see a knife attempt here from Soulfly if he goes Moto.
Well, Zori gets the kill against the man first and foremost. The AWP of Panics for having no shot shenanigans. 12-3. Sangal looking absolutely brilliant on the T side of Inferno. A 9-round buffer that Jano will have to catch up to. And for me, it seems like the end of the day, the end of the Swiss, and the end of Jano in the tournament.
Yeah, shame, really, because I think at moments they've actually shown some pretty good quality. Again, being able to beat prospects 16-14, 16-14, nearly 2-0ing the likes of 500, and coming away with a victory in a very strange series against the Poles where there's a lot of stand-ins. That can't be easy to deal with if you're Jano. So there's a lot of credit for them to be able to get to this 2-2 position, but right here and today, they have not been competitive. They've not been able to put up a fight. Panics has seen a lot of players charging up towards mid as well.
QB stands. Corey, USP versus Zori and Co. Damage up against Soulfly and Panics. It's going to be QB with that kill against the man. The start held out. Yellow with a responsive. Corey continuing to tap forward. USP of Panics can respond towards Yellow. Sangal in the advantage here.
And QB still facing by himself and definitely over-peaking in that scenario. Panics is waiting to see if there's a walkout from the apartments, and there will be.
Smiley seen. Panics sets it to 2 players now on Jano. This would have been the moment for the comeback if Jano were able to take this pistol, but the reality is very, very different to that. At least Panics will drop, make it back to a 2v2 situation. USP holding the site. Julie's rotating back in. Corey's got the defuse kit as well, so if he drops on the center of A, it gives a chance for the retake on Scrunk. But neither player with Kevlar.
Sangal have actually forced themselves in a very awkward state in this 2v2. Alu's going to get the walkout from the apartments. Spots the likes of Corey, and this should be the round done. I can't see Scrunk winning this 1v2.
Well, I guess they do take the pistol here for Jano.
2 for 2 in pistols.
Indeed.
And only 4 rounds.
I was going to say. Be forgiven for thinking the pistol conversion eco was all they got in the first half. Scrunk, however, trying to see if he can deny that much, but yeah, 2 for 2 in pistols in this map. You're right about that. Sangal, no bomb plant bonus though. They did get most of the Galils out in the last half when they had the force buy-in at round 2, which allowed them a much easier second round steal. That will not be a luxury that that they have access to here on round 17.
They're still trying to get those deagles out. And we know that Corey's been pretty good with the dig. Let's see that over the course of the main Swiss stage. And, of course, Ancient. And Sangal have left a little bit of extra cash there for Panics. Just because he wants that AWP, that extra security buffer. So, Scrunk is going to be the passive B defender. Everybody else is stacking up on A.
While he's in, Scrunk standing with that smoke to put it up as soon as he received contact from the Jano side. That's a missed volley there from Yellow.
You don't reckon that's intended?
Well, look, if Sangal ever push to the roof, then Jano are completely covered.
Yeah,
Let's
they've
put it
got a
that
new
way,
boost coming.
Inferno becomes the new overpass.
And sorry, looking to try and see if he can open up. Checking out the long cubby corner. Now, slowly and slowly, they actually are getting closer to this A stack. And once they get information, if they can, they'll want to try and adjust. They'll want to try and shift that bomb towards B. It just depends on how deep they actually commit themselves.
Smoke in from Zori to suppress the Moto entrance. Sangal at the 4-man stack towards the A site. Zori makes moves out towards the B site and overwhelms Scrunk, then it should be a rotation. They're thinking about it here, Jano.
Yeah, this is a very good walk forward here from Zori. Corey gets caught off guard. Good patience for Jano on the clock. The bomb's going to end A. They're still running into the trap here.
Oh, especially if Scrunk gets the kill against the Laka. Or not. They're going to make their way back in, so just enough time to go for the rotate. Unless Scrunk denies the bomb plant at the very last second, this should be Jano taking control of the round here. 10 seconds. Oh, hunting Yerpa a little bit too overzealous to be waiting an extra couple seconds. Maybe he wins the rounds. Oh, but panics. He's still giving it a go.
He's got an AK, but he's on low HP. I can't see there being much of a way back forward here at all. As Smiley's just jump spotting out here to the card position, and yeah, it's going to be a safe call coming through from Sangal. Maybe if that kill came through before there was a rotation, then Jano would have thought, time's low, there could be one more on B, let's just commit towards A. But in the end, Zori's walkout, even though it doesn't warrant a frag, actually warrants a 5th round for the Finns.
There we go. No end A in the end. Smiley does get domed in, though, trying to make it expensive for these boys. It's only the MAC-10 lost. Kevlar and such might be a bit more of a issue for the Jano side.
Actually might force buy again, to be honest. Knowing that you've dropped 3 players and you've saved an AK, it's proper gimmicky. But Sangal might be looking at this thinking, let's buy it up completely.
At the same time, though, they have such a huge buffer, they could just go for the eco basis, upgrade pistols, and then just play it standard, go for the guns in the next. That seems to be the call here. Wouldn't blame them either way. They've got so many rounds to play with, they can basically do what they want until Jano start getting to around 8 or 9. Mollies. Nade stack against Yerpa. That's a good start.
Indeed it is. Now, they probably won't be able to charge their way down towards Banana and recover that rifle. Panics has given away the information of where the AK is. He might want to try and peek again, though.
Burst through on Zori. Smiley missing his chance. Clean up the win. Spray is good for the 1-man. 4 versus 4. Still got a player in at pit. Panics on his way in with the AK. Taps forward from Panics. Almost got quite a fair amount out of that. QB now known towards pit control. Smiley does get caught. That's one shot. Alu tagged, but not dead. Scrunk grabs that AK again. Tries to spray back on Zori. Unable to connect the kill. Him and Soulfly. Oh, now just Soulfly alone in the 1 versus 3. And he's got a pistol. He might as well try some sort of exit or otherwise in this round.
Now, getting over to the AK and saving it would actually be quite nice. Jano, even though they lose that opening player to the nade stack out there to logs, they have some good entries down towards the A site. And for a moment there, it looks like Panics has got a pretty easy pick onto Smiley, but it obviously wasn't as easy as it looked. There seemed to be a bit of a headshot glitch in the position, right, where he's just not quite exposing himself enough towards default. So once you start tapping, it's really difficult to get that headshot. And all in all, it's a pretty good eco. Panics can get down towards that AWP. AK gets saved. And for Sangal, they're taking a tactical because I think they realize, again, we're having a bit of fun here. We've had a good performance, but let's just make sure we close it. Let's just make sure that we get those last few rounds and we don't give any leverage back. Because if we're messing about for too much, then there's actually a way in here.
Yeah, Sangal have had issues closing out this entire Swift stage. Some of the maps we're seeing getting quite close over the course of their run probably maybe have been down to the fact that they haven't been able to close out their map ups and their series. Don't let them get straight to you. Now's the chance to strike. The iron is hot. 6 rounds that are good still. Gunbuy can be received, of course. The AWP in for Panics. Top fragger in server right now. Sangal also doing tons of damage to Jano in general, so there's an economical reset on the table for the T side.
A G2 bracket smoke coming through from Sangal normally indicates some aggression to come down to second mid or mid itself, but they actually opt against it. Alu down to 52 in the early portion of the round. Super defensive from Sangal across the board. Now, probably tells us that there'll be some retaking nades for the half wall or even a flash to get out to contest Banana later on. But in the early sequence of the round, you've got 3 on B and 2 on A, incredibly deep in the bomb sites.
East side working their way forward. Slowly but surely, Soulfly looking for a play of his own. Kills one, sees a second, in seeing the area to stop them, and he backs away.
Excellent flash. So you've got the first flash that gets you the top car control, and then the second flash to go for that deeper extension. They're going to leave Panics alone here towards top Banana. Everybody else is going to rotate back to A.
Flashbang does not get Zori in for the kill. He saw the man, but didn't quite flick in time. Allows the AWP to fade away. Of course, they will be aware that they've got that top of Banana control. Meanwhile, Scrunk falls out towards top of Long. Yellow, frag up. Soulfly knows that he's going to be hunting around the CT spawn angle. AK v AK, and it's the AK of the T side that wins the fight. Now Panics is heavily pressured with his AWP back here at construction. Needs to get this one kill. Aware that the T side are making their way in from Banana as well. Yellow will drop 3 on 3. Can he get another? He'll face quite deep into it. Sees Ori, but doesn't hit the kill.
And Panics actually gets baited into that. He knows that the CT smoke isn't down, so he thinks, okay, I'm going to try and fight, try and deny that bomb. And that's exactly what Zori was hoping for.
Bloom just in time to throw the shot off. Gave enough breathing room for the AK to spray. Corey, meanwhile, falls to Smiley. And Jano. Oh, Smiley gets caught off guard here. QB, but QB too focused on a flanking, a counterplay from Jano. Looked the wrong way at the wrong time, and Sangal now have only 5 to the good. Jano starting to turn this momentum to something tangible here.
It's not concerning at the moment for Sangal, but you need to have it in the back of your mind that it is turning into a streak and the deficit is falling. A hero AWP out from Panics. Gonna get dropped in from Soulfly. Intriguing that he actually just doesn't buy armor there. Had the money to go for it, but opts against it.
Prioritizing AWP for the next round, perhaps?
Yeah, I guess. But why drop the AWP in the first place?
It's a good question. I don't know. I'm sure Sang will have some sort of reasoning. Whether that reasoning is accurate, correct, or the right call, I guess we'll find out in time. Boost for Soulfly and his Deagle getting on top of the half wall. What can he find with this? It would be lovely to get a quick headshot. Sees Alu, but the connection just isn't there.
Yeah, 2 players still out towards CT spawn. Can boost up Corey towards the flower pods. Now you've got the AWP positioned on a dual crossfire out to the apartments, and doesn't look like Jano were interested in that area of the map at all. And QB going to start working forward, so Panics might think about rotating that AWP further away.
But shouldn't have mid for the time being. And does, in the end, start to commit towards the A site as Yellow starts to wrap around in from the apartments. That bomb might still commit into the B play, though. QB looking, but Zori domes him in. That's the bomb dropped. The CT should be aware of that soon. Yellow has bought the bailout position. Smiley able to deal with Corey. The AWP of Panics needs to lean in, must be aware now. They're going to go ahead and commit towards the A sites.
And they're trying to put that pressure down towards Banana, but they end up backing off. They think that Alu might still be holding that position. This might just have to be a save in a 2v3. Jeez, that got really close.
Too close for comfort. Sangal showing they still got it. They haven't gone anywhere in this series. Bomb down for Alu. No kits for the retake here on Sangal. AWP in for Panics. Saved alongside an AK for Scrunk. So that's not a terrible eco, honestly. Extra firepower for the automatic weapons. And everybody else will be able to buy.
And this is where, for Sangal, if you're not winning the next rifle round, you start getting concerned. You start getting quite nervous because you don't want to let Jano back into this series. They were never in this series in the first place. You've given them a nice, tasty streak towards the tail end here. Close it down. You've only got 4 more rounds to play with. You've got money. You've got good weaponry. You've got every positive on your side right now.
4 more to go. Sangal yet to score here on the CT side. And even in spite of that save there from Soulfly, Scrunk is still rocking an SMG. Could have been dropped a weapon here. They won't opt against it, though. Jano must be feeling the pressure against Sangal here. Must be understanding of the position they find themselves in. They abuse no smokes. It was a very deep smoke from the CT side. Yerpa could peek ahead of it and immediately take 2 down.
That just missed utility. That's why I wanted the MP9. I wanted to charge down that banana controller, put some emphasis on Jano. And now starting to really heat up the server. That is a terrible outcome for Sangal. 3 up towards A. Yerpa and Alu are working the top banana control. As soon as Yerpa is able to swing out wide enough towards B and say it's clear, that bomb's going over to B and this round's done.
Another one where Sangal have no choice. Guess the money in reserve for Panic, Soulfly, and Scrunk actually might be positives, but Zori's not done. Gets a kill on the Orpa. Now needs to get picked up by Corey. Yellow looking for his exit, gets QB next. And now Corey in a 1-on-5, gets nothing for it. Jano within 3.
And for Sangal, just get the tax in. It doesn't even matter if you use 3 tacks in a row. This has got to be addressed right now. Jano, I mean, they're obviously starting to play better because they're playing with more confidence and they actually feel as if they're starting to work the mid-rounds quite nicely. Another buy on the table from Sangal, but this is out of hand now. This has gone way too far. This series should have been wrapped up already.
12-3 and you scored nothing. How embarrassing would it be to let Jano now take control of the lead and take you to a third after a first half like that? Sangal. I mean, they haven't called that tactical. Maybe in the next rifle round. Honestly, if I'm Stickle, I'm calling that in. Maybe even a lot earlier than where it stood right now. 6 in a row for the Jano side. Molly's gonna drive them back. Corey is waiting for someone to make a move in towards that mid. Brackets control. Flashbang into with our teammate to peek perhaps. QB thinking of it. Sees one. Gets domed in by the crossfire. That flashbang didn't do enough.
Yeah, that's the right idea there from Sangal. Corey spots Smiley out there from Keo. Thinks about supporting with that util. Trying to get the refrag. Spam through. Jano just stall. Now there's 2 players out here towards the B defense. You've got both Soulfly and Scrunk. The boost up here towards a new box position. And it seems like it's a full-on B exec, or at least a double pump. They might be trying to see if they can force an over-rotation.
Flash incendiary combo from Scrunk, gonna try and keep him at bay. The Molotov does not reach Soulfly. They're gonna assume it's clear unless they check that boost spot position. Scrunk, more of a focal point, drawing attention to himself, setting Soulfly up for the kill, but Yerpa still gets him. Scrunk can trade, but only for 1. Zori opens the B-bomb site, and Sangal are again left to save.
Jano are playing very well on T-side. They're adjusting to a lot of these setups from Sangal. Even there on the B exec, you've got a great adjustment to the new box individual, and then you pressure the solo B player, Scrunk, to only get away with 1. But yeah, you could look at it as Sangal choking and really struggling to close this out, but Jano, step by step and round by round, are actually showing us more quality.
Unexpectedly so from that first half. Jano's position here, bolstered by the T side. Sangal yet to score still. 2 rifles into the next. Be beneficial to the CT side, plus the max loss bonus that they've had for a fair while now. But what do they do to make the change? They just need to get those 4 rounds, Dweg. But as this one keeps on going, it seems less and less likely for the Sangal side instead. They'll get these guns in, but there is still no tactical pause.
And it's so similar to the Sangal series against 500 in the last round of Swiss, where they got 2 rounds in the second half of Anubis and only 3 rounds in the second half of Ancient, that while they put on some very good first half performances, they just struggled to close it out, struggled to get it over the line. And Panics with the AWP boost up, trying to see if he can get an opening pick out here towards Banana.
Had no struggles over on Ancient in the second half of their own. Here against Jano. On this Inferno, Sangal are fighting for an opportunity here. They've got the AWP on contact out towards Banana control. Mass numbers of players in at brackets and boiler. Panics. I'll look for that first pick on Zori. Corey on the defensive meanwhile.
Yeah, expecting a flash to come through. Very good setup out here to the short control. Now, Corey hasn't seen anything, so he's going to pass some util back to a teammate, and he could hold the boiler line.
Utility thrown. Smoke's over. Flash in for Corey. Going to get blinded just as much as the T-side players are. Seeing nothing. Forced to retreat back. Knows that Smiley's in a boiler at least.
They get that incendiary down. Now, time is starting to seriously stall. This could actually be a super late round execution. Panics with that AWP has not been forced off the angle yet. AWP spots Alu. Smiley can't get that return frag onto Corey. And now Corey even continues to fight in from brackets.
AK picked up. Zori pressured back towards top mid. Dealt with on the 3K. Bomb dropped. Yellow alone, a 1-on-5. It took Sangal way too long to look this confident on the CT side. But now they are going. Now they found their first of the half.
That's probably got to be the best feeling that Sangal have had all series so far, that they've ended the streak with a very good round. Corey, I mean, my goodness, he is proper confident. He was on 25 points of health in that second and third duel of overpeaking towards brackets. But he puts on a show. He puts on impact.
13 for Sangal at last. 1 out of 4 winning rounds. Jano straight in against here. Alu dealt with, but he burns. Panics from beyond the grave. Scrunk misses the incendiary. Can't keep holding back at the sandbags. That's a major mistake. Plus the kill found early by Jano. Zori, is he aware this player's out here? He's going to sneak ahead of the half wall past the smoke. Scrunk, gun barrel. Been seen, man's down.
Yeah, they had no idea that Zori was pressed up that aggressively, and he heard the scope, so he knows that the AWP's there. Zori can now pre-aim down here towards CT. If he deals with Soulfly, this round's finished. Yep, that's done.
Unbelievable again for Sangal.
Just rookie mistakes, though, from Sangal there. I mean, first off, your AWP's going aggressive for a fight. How is not a single teammate getting a smoke down on that molly? How are they letting him just burn out there at the half wall?
Bigger question on my mind is how is it this late in the game Sangal are making rookie mistakes after they had a 12-3 T-side half? And look at this. They're being pressured. Corey tagged up, may get taken down. They need these weapons pretty desperately here, Sangal. Flash is sent. QB trying to support Corey's position. Does get that 1 kill onto Yellow. Smiley will hold his nerve as backup arrives. Yerpa will get caught. That they have been owed for the longest time. Sangal so far ahead, but yet so far from victory.
Yerpa just tanks that HE. Now there's another boost up to come through from the flower pots out there to the B site. Panics is moving that AWP around quite a bit. He'd already given up that opening challenge out towards bedroom. He's going to look back in towards a mid pick because Long's being smoked. Good info. They're going to start shifting, I think, Corey back over to B. He sees nothing in mid.
Both players going to go back towards B. Leave it onto QB just in case for the execution. Stick and fast. Soulfly and Scrunk Pressure against him. Sulfide tanks an aid. Yerpa makes his way up. The spray is good for the first man. Second player spotted. Skrunk sprays down. Only one. Zori keeps the trades rolling. The CT to force forward. Corey gets involved, but Smiley takes Sulfide back. It's a 2 versus 2 as Alu strikes back to the Tech 9. Low HP for him. Panics. Doesn't see him yet. Now he does. Taking it back. And Smiley left in versus 2. Sprays the first, but doesn't get the kill for it. Sangal slowly stack up to 14.
That's a very good info play there from the AWP. Panics just positions himself towards the outer long position while it's being smoked, realizes that mid's completely clear. And it gets a bit messy, right? They're fighting through that CT smoke, but they know the read. They know that it's ending on B.
Now they call the tactical. Oh, man. Sangal within touching distance of the victory still. 2 to go. Jano, however, have been allowed an open doorway back into Inferno, back into this series. They aren't that far behind. They have a rebuy. They have the AWP. They have the AKs and full sets of utility. They don't have money in reserves on several individuals here. Bomb plants might be a requirement for them to continue sustaining the buybacks. Sangal, meanwhile, Walker panics in towards me. Going to try to challenge Alu. Who's going to win this fight? Neither man. Panics is focusing on second mids. Blind lands a leg shot on yellow.
Yeah, of course. Molly out there towards underpass. You've got your cover. You know that they're not going to swing you wide. So put some pressure on. Look for that pick out towards second mid. Now, they've got a few of rotations. So Panic shows the AWP towards brackets, and now he goes big. Skrunk's gone back in towards CT spawn to try and pass over some util to Panics. They've got 3 on B and might even contest top banana.
Alu ready for this. Panics. Utility support. Pixels away. Flash in for Soulfly as well. Here they come. Shot missed out. Soulfly gets Yerpa. Now the angle's posted. Alu works super hard to get this one back, and Panics has not even been flashed off properly. Kill found for him. Soulfly turns it back. Zori trying to keep control of the situation. Bomb on his back, but separated from Smiley. The 2v3 for them. QB gets the trade, and Zori needs the 4K on the clutch.
Yeah, Scrum could just play behind this smoke. Should be no way forward. Zori has to respect it. Skrunk knows that if he goes down, the bomb site's going to be compromised, and this clutch could be on. Smoke it again, waste the time. Zori, oh, what a beam that is!
There's no way. There's just no way, like. Deep smoke in at CT, he's going back towards banana. Oh, he doesn't know where to go. Oh, listen, footsteps. Backs up towards coffins. Fade away from the bomb site. Where does he go around this?